COVID-19 has taken a huge toll on Ecuador. Sky News diplomatic editor Dominic Waghorn gives us an inside look at one of the worst hit nations in Latin America. Just a warning, some of the images you're about to see are graphic.
It is the nightmare we've all been dreading. The government failing us when we need it most, and the health system collapsing. In Ecuador, it happened so badly that bodies were left to rot on the streets. These scenes may be receding, but the aftermath is devastating. Blanca Reyes is on the way to the hospital again, looking for her father's body, a month after they called to say the virus had killed him.
¿Qué? Le digo, no puede ser, si él estaba estable, él estaba, eso fue el informe que me dieron, le digo. Entonces me dice, no, si usted es Blanca Reyes y su papá, él falleció. Por favor, acérquese al hospital.
Pero me parece raro que encuentren aquí después.
Adding to Blanca's grief, in the month that's passed, the hospital still has no answers about where her father is. A death certificate, but no body to bury.
Son varias hipótesis que yo pienso. Una es que quizá hicieron fosas comunes sin comunicar a los familiares y por eso no se los querían entregar, porque al principio querían ocultar tantos fallecimientos respecto al COVID.
The city of Guayaquil has been one of Latin America's worst hit in this pandemic. It's thought as many as 7,000 have died in this one city alone. They're afraid of speaking out here. One doctor was prepared to talk to Sky about the government's failure and the backlog of bodies, but on condition we protect his identity.
Around the mortuary and the A&E, the smell was thick. It was stinking a lot, very strong. It smelt of death. There were areas that were closed, and you could see flies swarming because of the number of deaths. 3 containers full. That's a lot.
In normal times, 50 people die on average a day in the city. They've had up to 600 a day during the pandemic. Cardboard coffins haven't been enough. The official in charge of disposing of the dead admits they've been overwhelmed.
Nobody's prepared for an earthquake. Nobody's prepared for a tsunami. And nobody in the world is prepared for a pandemic like this. Nobody. Because there is fear involved in all this process. We had some complications. I cannot say that we have not, but we have been trying to do our best to try with and to live with this pandemic situation.
So one family after another waits outside the cemetery for their turn, having to bury their dead themselves despite the risk of infection. With little social distancing and authorities in disarray, the risk of a second wave here is very real.
Belgian officials have hired what they describe as corona detectives. They'll help trace who might have come in contact with coronavirus patients. NBC News correspondent Tessa Arcilia is in Brussels with more on this contact tracing program.
Well, Alison, these corona detectives lie at the heart of Belgium's exit strategy. As more people come out and socialize, they want to control infection. Now, these so-called detectives will manually trace anyone who might have come into contact with an infected person. And what's different about this is that while countries like Germany, France, Italy, and the UK are looking into contact tracing apps, here they're adamant that apps are not necessary for effective tracing. In fact, they've shelved those plans for now. I spoke with several government officials today, and they say that for an app to be effective, majority of the population will have to download it. And there are also privacy issues and unpredictable human behavior, like forgetting to use the app or not knowing how to. And these could have serious consequences. So these contact tracers will be trained by skilled nurses and doctors. And simply put, they told me that nothing beats human-to-human interaction. Take a listen.
During a personal conversation, person to person, you can gain a certain amount of trust, and you can ask deeper questions about which contacts you had, what was the intensity of the contact. You can make a better evaluation about the risk of the contact.
In the meantime, Belgians are being told to keep a logbook of people they've been in contact with. So it's really going the old-fashioned way, Alison. Now, what's interesting to watch is if this Belgian model will be as successful as that of New Zealand, a country that seemed to have done this successfully. I spoke to the doctor that audited this system over there, and she said apps are useful in conjunction with humans. Alison?
Good gravy.
Children appear to be getting